July 2nd, Taylor posted asking her followers to pray for her and her baby Clancy Gale because she had a bunch of appointments and scans that day. In August, she had staged and posted a full maternity photo shoot with Wade. To anyone following her online, this might look real, but everyone who saw her in real life knew that something was up. Even her neighbor was sneakily taking pictures of her, and I'll put some on the screen here, of her when she was allegedly like 8 or 9 months pregnant, but she doesn't look pregnant at all. But I want to point out that, this was all happening in 2020. This is the height of COVID. There were real restrictions on extra people coming to doctor's appointments. So Taylor used that to her advantage, telling Wade that he wasn't allowed to any of her appointments, and it really just was the perfect cover for her. She even sent Angela a quote unquote pregnancy verification letter on April 9th of 2020 with that September 22nd due date on it. But Angela noticed that the name of the nurse who supposedly wrote the letter also matched the name of the patient on the letter. So when Angela pointed it out, Taylor got upset and claimed it was probably a mole at the clinic that her mom had planted to make people doubt her. So that same day, Angela called her bluff and took Taylor to Health Express in Mount Pleasant to have a pregnancy test performed. Taylor went back into the room alone while Angela waited up front, and when Taylor came out, she was holding a piece of paper with lab results stapled to it, another letter, positive result, due date September 22nd. But here's the thing, Angela had watched Taylor walk in with nothing but her wallet, and that paper was not even folded. So how did she walk out holding it? I have no idea. At trial, the urine test from that day was shown to the jury and it was negative. And to this day, it is still a mystery on how she produced that printed letter. Like I said, her original due date was September 22nd. That came and went and there was no baby. And from that point on, Taylor's behavior began to take a more predatory turn. Investigators would later establish that her activity escalated sharply right around September 15th, which was the exact window that Wade got those anonymous text messages. From there, it became a near daily frenzy. That was the word a detective used at trial, a frenzy. And on September 22nd, her due date, a hog rancher 4 hours away in Wynnewood, Oklahoma, named Scott Robertson, got a call from someone identifying herself as Taylor Griffin. And she was offering him a trailer full of hogs for just over $6,000. Scott, who owned like a hunting ground where you could come and like rent out a cabin and rent out the place for the weekend to do hunting, like go on hunting trips. Scott had doubts about this from the jump because Taylor didn't understand the license that was required to move livestock across state lines, and she wanted the money up front. So he eventually told her flat out he didn't think that she was being truthful, and he called it off. So she texted him again on the 27th, claiming that it was still all arranged. He still refused. So just tuck that away and keep it in your back pocket. On September 30th, employees at a clinic in Paris, Texas, testified that Taylor came in for a scheduled sonogram, but while sitting in the waiting room, she started crying and said that she would have to reschedule her appointment because her husband was in the military and she had just gotten notification that he died, and that her mother had also canceled on her. So she made such a scene in the waiting room that a doctor came out to console her. They even offered her a free ultrasound so that she could at least see her baby, but she declined, which struck them as bizarre because what expectant mom would turn that down? I do not know. After she left, staff saw her sitting on a bench in the parking lot, between the door and the parking lot, there were some benches, and she was sitting on one of the benches watching pregnant women come in and out. And it turns out she was looking up their license plate information. She would literally track the pregnant women, look at what car they came from, and track their license plate information. She's literally hunting. She was even attending support groups for teenage mothers in the area. And I think it's safe to assume that she was probably scouting victims there too.